Guys, gals, fellow gender non-conforming pals, welcome back. I'm C2A and it's time for the third vlog. So, as promised, a little explanation on what recording principles is like. So I just had my first class in my first lab. Lab finished up about an hour ago. It's quite something. It is info dense. It is so info dense. So recording principles is essentially teaching you how do you be an audio engineer? What are things you need to take care of? What are things you need to be attentive to? What are the basics of signal flow? How information gets turned from sound to audio, back to sound, and what's that process like? And even things like, your audio interfaces of like, how do you set up your preamps? And I can explain some of that stuff. So one of the main things we talked about is the different terminology, different bits of terminology used in the audio industry. So like the main thing is audio and sound are not the same thing. Sound is this, what you're hearing now. But YouTube hears audio because my voice is being pushed to the two microphones on my phone, and the two microphones then, using an audio interface, convert that into data. That data gets converted back into sound by your phone, I imagine. Most people watch YouTube on their phones. On your phone, and it does the opposite. Now that's kind of obvious, but what's less obvious is how. So we went into like how microphones actually operate. That a lot of them just have like, here, where's the microphone? Boom, here's a microphone. I have one. Gimme. Boom. Here's the condenser microphone. I would say probably don't use a condenser microphone unless you got a very soundproofed area. These are sensitive as fuck. So how they work is there's a little magnet inside with a coil, and your voice can move that thing, that magnet on the coil. And the coil, from movement, can pick up the amount of energy that the magnet is generating through that coil. And then that is directly turned into data. And that is what is read. And what's cool about that is while volume may not be 100% the same because you can't hear data typically, the pitch is. So hertz are always maintained when you go from sound to audio, unless you got like some sort of weird distortion going on, which I guess you could do on purpose, effects. But then what's not maintained is the loudness. The, what's it called? Pressure decibels. There's a term for it. Atmospheric pressure decibels, something about pressure. I'll have to look it up. Again, I just learned these terms recently, some of them. But it converts that into voltage unit decibels. And funny thing, most people don't realize this, I imagine, at least I know I didn't. Decibel, a bell is the actual unit. It's a tenth of a bell. Yeah. Decibel. And what's funny is to double something, you actually just add 10 decibels to it and you've doubled it. It's a weird logarithmic chart to determine how loudness goes up. But there are other things that go into that. Yeah, lots of like real techie, nerdy things. Like on the preamp, we were talking about how what you want to do ideally on all your faders, those are like, I was just gonna use terms assuming that you guys are partially audio nerds. So if you look at your DAW and you see the little slider things, that thing is an input-output module, an I/O module. And those faders should be receiving the same amount of VU decibels when they start. And then you can move it from there because you should do it with your preamp. And that makes sense because you shouldn't just be doing it by ear. You should be able to know everything from the start is the same volume and then you do it by ear. Because otherwise, how do you know that you've actually equalized to start. And that's super smart. I'm super hyped to try out these techniques that I've literally learned day one, and I'm already going to use these techniques like after this video probably. Yeah, I'm super hyped for this class to keep going. I'm gonna know so much stuff after it. It's gonna be mad. Yeah, lots of physics and mathematics involved. But what's awesome, and actually I thought about saying this in the video while I was watching the lecture, they frame it in the context of audio and recording, not in the context of physics and mathematics, which is smart, because a lot of like secondary school and primary school courses will explain things and then say, oh yeah, just like in mathematics, when you use this thing here because of mathematics. No, they don't do that. They're like, obviously it's mathematical, but they teach it in the context of audio. So they're not taking you out like, oh, you have to learn this, but learn this quick physics thing about how things work and then go back to this. No, you are applying the physics thing now while you learn it. And it's just a better way to learn, because you understand how and why things are working, why they're being applied. Like instead of wondering, why do I ever need to learn the quadratic equation formula? Equation formula is probably either. You could just be working on something that requires that, and then you learn it and you're not questioning. You're just like, yeah, it's so I can do this. That's how we're doing all the mathematics and sciences for the courses. It's just like, yeah, obviously, because that's what you need for it to work. I just think that's great. And what's fun is I actually don't have a mathematics course for my degree, at least as far as I know. I have my English and mathematics course dropped because I already got the credits for them. Yeah. But this class is fun. As you can see from the timestamp, we are 7 minutes and 23 seconds now, so I've had a lot more to talk about than last one. Yeah, I'm proper liking it. It's gonna be really fun. Yeah, I don't know much else I have to say. I'm sure there's so much I left out, but it'll come up later. But yeah, day one, just intro to it, different labs. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about labs real quick. Full Sail, right? Big fancy school with a lot of tech. Our labs are literally in this giant area where everyone has this colossal mixing console in front of them for themselves, and then their neighbor has one, their neighbor has one, their neighbor has one, their neighbor has one, and there are like 12 of these things in one room for each lab. It's insane. It's insane. And they're like $500,000 each. This school is loaded. So instead of being like virtual, oh, this is how it would work if you're in the setting, nah, they just put you in the setting. And like, here's a mixing console. Here's this interface. Here's this. Record this for me. Mix this for me. Master this for me. That's such an awesome way to learn. Instead of it being some field trip where you get to apply it there, nah. You just do labs. It's so good. So good. Yeah, that's the last thing I'll talk about, I think. Yeah, unless I just lied and there's something else coming up, but I don't think there is. Yeah. So that's recording principles from day one. Day two is tomorrow, but I don't think I'm going to post a video. I'll post a video next week. Unless something phenomenal happens where it's like life-changing. Yeah, no, I'll post next week. Yeah, that's that. Oh, update. I did lie. I did have one more thing. Not about recording principles, though. Some of you may remember Songaday, little project I did with some mates back in 2020 when we were all enjoying our version of the blip. I'm doing it again. Maybe indefinitely. So, for those of you not aware, Songaday was a little project I worked on with some mates where, as the name implies, we made a song every day for the month of February. So, February 2020, we were making a song every single day. We had 1 hour to make a 1 minute song, and we had to keep going every day. If you didn't post, You're disqualified. Doing the same thing. And now I'm hosting the channel, hosting the Discord server. I hate to be mean, but it's for Full Sail students only. If you're upset by that, make your own. Invite your mates. Do it. Just do it yourself and upload it to YouTube. I'm sure someone's gonna love your stuff. But yeah, it helped me tremendously as an artist to just get the bad songs out, you know? Like, just get the bad songs out and learn as you go. It familiarized me with Logic Pro so much. And I can't wait to see how it helps me July. And in July, with a mixture of Full Sail and Songaday version 2, ooh, I'm gonna be making some flyer tracks. Flyer tracks. Yeah. That's probably it. I'm not gonna tease you with another, that's probably it, and there's more, there's not. Yeah. If you got any questions for me, leave them in the comments below, and I'll get back to you. And I guess I'll probably mention the comments in the video if they're like a big fun thing about stuff that happens. But yeah, God bless, goodbye, take care of yourselves.